Wellness Wednesday on Thursday again. This was not my fault. Instagram failed yesterday miserably, so I'm redoing it and I'm talking about healthy fats. And I've also got an awesome document for you if you want it. Send me a message or leave me a comment. And it is the healthiest fats for downloading. But it looks really pretty. It's really cool. I've designed it myself and I'm really impressed with it. I think I'm going to become a famous ebook writer. So if you'd like it just breaks down what each of the sort of the winners of healthy fats are cooking, what unsaturated fats, saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, etc. So if you'd like that, let me know and I will get that sent across to you. But today I just wanted to talk briefly about healthy fats. Fats get such a bad rap on the whole. I think, when we started eating more sugar, when things became all low fat, when we were in the low fat craze, and because fat gives flavour and it gives consistency, so food manufacturers then bunged loads of sugar into our foods, and of course that's been proven to be so bad for us. Thank you for the hearts. I'm very well, thank you, and I hope you're having a good day too. And sugar is just like, I'm sure hands down responsible for the obesity epidemic, the fact that we've got soaring rates of diabetes type 2, increased cancer, increased digestive issues. Sugar really is the bad boy, and it has such a negative effect on the chemicals in our bodies. And I think it's really important that we don't just look at individual food groups. It's not just sugar by itself, it's not just fat by itself, it's not just protein by itself. When you're eating whole foods, so for instance you have some nuts, they're going to have healthy fats in them, they've got minerals, they have fibre, there's a myriad of things that go into individual whole foods. And although obviously I'm talking about specifically fats today, it's really important to remember that they contain other aspects that are incredibly important for our health. Each piece of food that you eat has a biochemical reaction within the body, and healthy fats are incredibly important. So hi Jill, lovely to see you. And so for instance, our brains are made up of 60% fat. So for a start off, fat is for our nervous system, for our brain health, for our cognition, so how we think, how effectively we process our thoughts. Fat is absolutely vital. We need fat to protect the membranes of our cells, each individual cell of our body. We've got trillions of cells in our bodies and they're constantly being renewed. We need fat to protect our neural synapses. So when the nerve cells, when they're shooting off and sending messages, those need to be protected within fat. We have fat that surrounds our spinal cord. We have fat that's obviously in the brain, and it has an absolutely vital role. But it's important to know what are healthy fats and how to use healthy fats, because not all of them react in the same way, and also to be avoidant of the fats that aren't going to be so good for us. For instance, if you know of anybody, or if you yourself have struggled with an eating disorder, particularly anorexia, you will know how it affects your thought processes and your mood. And it's not just the fact that you're not getting the right foods in your body, it's the fact that you are so starving for healthy fats, any fat in actual fact, with something like anorexia. But healthy fats are absolutely vital. They're a cornerstone of our health, and you should be looking at around about sort of 30% of your daily intake of food should combine healthy fats. In one of the portion control container system things that we work on as part of a nutrition guide, we have 3 types of fats, and those get broken down into healthy fats like avocados, some high quality cheeses, and then you've got your seeds and your dressings, and then you've got your nut oils and things like that. So it's really important to have a good variety of healthy fats. And so just then going on to what are healthy fats, well, things like coconut oil is incredibly healthy. Avocados are one of the best sources of healthy fat. I'm so glad that I love avocado. I'm supposed to eat half an avocado a day, but I eat probably more like 1 avocado a day. It doesn't seem to make me fat. I'm incredibly happy. It works really well with my body. Everybody's body is slightly different, so find out what works best for you. But avocado is a very good one. Butter, grass-fed butter, or grass-fed cows that make butter. Again, butter used to get a massively bad rap. Yes, it's high in saturated fats, but saturated fats in the right portions are good for you. And apart from the fact, butter's delicious and it's a really easy thing to cook with as well. So butter's a really healthy fat. Nut butters, I have if I'm doing, like today, I was doing a workout which literally is quite tough, and I was struggling because I didn't eat before I did it, and I should have done. And I had a really large heaped teaspoon of almond butter with half a banana, and just the combination of the healthy fat and probably the sugar, the carbs from the banana got me through that workout. But I don't think I'd have managed to get through it without either that, or I'd have just collapsed in a sweaty heap and cried and felt sorry for myself. So it is incredibly important. Things like cod liver oil is incredibly good for you. Make sure if you're going to get cod liver oil that you buy a high quality variety. A lot of them actually are rancid, and the way to test it, if you buy it in capsule form, just open up one capsule and smell it. If it smells fishy or is not particularly nice, those are not good quality cod liver oil tablets. Make sure that you get something that's pretty much neutral with its smell. Bad fats are things like cottonseed oil, safflower oil, trans fats, of course, things in margarine. There's a really good test that you can do if you want to prove this. If you put butter out in your garden or coconut oil, you'll find that the rats will come and eat it. And I'm not saying welcome in all the rats, but this is a useful test to do. If you put margarine out in your garden, it won't be touched. They won't go near it because they know it's bad. They're not stupid. And you'll find that most margarines rats will not touch, but they will eat the good stuff. So that's a good test. If you want to put this to the test, let me know if you try it, because I'd be really interested to see what your feedback is. And so then we sort of move on to oils that are good for cooking and oils that are not so good for cooking. So the winner really is coconut oil, because it's high in saturated fats. It can be cooked at a high temperature without it turning rancid. It's also got a load of health benefits associated with it as well. The next one after that is probably butter, but butter does naturally contain a small amount of proteins and sugars. Naturally, they are found in butter, and so when you cook butter at a high temperature, you might get that little bit of brown residue in the pan. It's not going to harm you, but if you prefer the look of it when it's clear, just buy ghee, clarified butter, which is what a lot of Indian shops will use and sell. Indian stores will sell ghee because they use a lot of it in their cooking. And then the other good one is obviously olive oil. Now, olive oil is a healthy oil, but it doesn't have a high flash point. So if you're going to be cooking at high temperatures, you will find the olive oil will oxidate, which basically means it turns rancid. So you're losing the beneficial properties of it, but also you're adding free radicals to your body, and free radicals are surrounding us all the time, and our metabolism creates free radicals as well. But you don't want to be adding to the amount of free radicals, because those are what cause our DNA damage. They cause premature aging. They have been linked to causing various cancers. So you want to keep your free radicals down, which is why it's so important to eat a wide range of fruit and vegetables, because those help us fight the free radicals. They're good for our DNA, they're good for our cells and our overall nutrition. So basically, in order: coconut oil, then butter, and then olive oil. And there's a lot of conflicting research out there about seed oils. Now, I bake my bread with sesame seed oil. I use a bread making machine. I never add sugar. I never add milk powder. I purely add my yeast, my flours, and sesame seed oil, a little bit of Himalayan rock salt and water, and it makes the most delicious loaf. And the sesame seed oil, because I'm not cooking it at a high temperature, it bakes long and slow. I don't think it's an issue, but there is quite a lot of evidence out there saying to steer clear of seed oils of any type or variety. So I'm not entirely sure. I've not found enough evidence one way or the other. And I've been looking at sort of peer-reviewed journals and all, you know, I have been looking at the proper sort of medical stuff. I haven't found evidence suggesting one or the other. Come on here. Oh, my little doggy wants to come up. Say hello, Snoopy. Oh, Bella Rose Candles. Hello, girls. How are you? So, hello, Muffle. You can't come up. I've not got space for you. So it's just worth remembering that, that they get a bit of a bad rap. Soybean oil is another one to avoid. It is ubiquitous, which basically means it's everywhere because it's really cheap. Environmentally, it's probably not the best. That's why I've not included palm oil. Palm oil is a healthy oil, but again, because I'm a bit of a tree hugger and I love the planet and I love nature, I love animals, and palm oil plantations are huge. And they do account for a small amount of deforestation. The majority of, just as an aside, palm oil plantations have mainly replaced rubber plant plantations. But those rubber plant plantations were originally forest. So in my view, they shouldn't be turned into palm oil plantations. They should be turned back into forest because the planet needs more forest. I am on my high horse. I feel really strongly about so many environmental things, and our stupid politicians only seem to be bothered about the power while they have their little go at it. Ugh, it drives me nuts. So anyhow, that's why I've not included palm oil, but it as an oil, it's quite a healthy oil to use. Just to let you know that. It's also worth knowing about omega-3s and omega-6s because these are essential fatty acids that our bodies do not create. We can't use them up. We can't create them ourselves. We have to get them from food. And as our diets have become more westernized, as we're eating more trans fats, as we're eating more sugar, as our food is being more processed, as our cows or our cattle, livestock rather, are being fed more grain rather than being put out to pasture, which is where they should be. Even healthy meat, so like, you know, if you buy a good cut of healthy meat, that if the say it's beef, so if the cow has been fed grain, the meat is going to contain a high proportion of omega-6s, which is not what you want. So it's you're better off to eat, if you eat meat less often, but make sure you buy meat that's pasture fed, so they've been brought up on pasture, on grass, because that's where you'll get the good healthy omega-3s from the meat. Another source of omega-3s is fish, so anchovies, herring, salmon, tuna, caviar, roe, cod roe, all that sort of stuff, nice and high in omega-3s. And you need to try and be eating 2 to 3 portions of fatty fish a week, to sort of make sure that you get the right amount of omega-3s. We eat way too many omega-6s, so the ratio should be about 1 to 1. We normally, a typical Western diet is about 16 to 1, which is pretty bad because omega-6s, there's a lot of evidence that they are inflammatory. There is some contradictory evidence also saying that they're not inflammatory, but there's all the evidence says that we're eating way too many of them. There is a lot of evidence that says omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, which is what we need more of. Our bodies live in this sort of state of chronic inflammation, and when we're in chronic inflammation, that's when we get the nasty things appear. You know, that's when we get the cancers. That's when we start to create the hardening in our arteries. That's when we start to get the plaques in our brain that lead to Alzheimer's. Inflammation long term is seriously bad. And it creeps your joints. I mean, you don't want inflammation in your body. So if you can increase your omega-3s, do that. Now, if you're vegan, this is more, or pescatarian, you're okay because you can eat the fish. Vegan or vegetarian is more of an issue because although chia seeds and flax seeds contain a lot of omega-3s, there are different varieties. So they are short chain omega-3 fatty acids. So they convert to AHA. That the fatty acid is called the AHA in like the chia seeds and flax seeds. However, then our body has to convert it to the type that it can use, which is EPA and DHA. Now, when we convert from the short chain to the long chain fatty acids, only between, say, 1 to 10% gets converted into the type of omega-3 essential fatty acids that we can actually use in our body. So you need to make sure you're eating a heck of a lot of chia seeds and a heck of a lot of flax seeds in order to get your omega-3s, or work out a way that you can accept that you maybe have a cod liver oil capsule or something that's going to help you balance your omega-3s. It's a serious issue, and omega-3s are absolutely essential to our overall health on so many different levels. So if you want the freebie that I've created, Jill, you've got it already because it's in our free group. I added that. I think I added that last night. But for you guys watching this now, if you want the freebie of the healthy fats to cook with, and literally I just sort of break down the percentage of saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fats, and it just goes into a little bit of sort of detail about the three most important fats that we can use that are healthiest for cooking with, because a lot of us make the mistake. We all think we can use olive oil to cook with, and at low temperatures, yes, you can, but not anything as sort of above a low to medium temperature, because it does oxidate and it does turn rancid. So thank you for joining me. I really hope this saves this time around, because it didn't save yesterday, and I apologise that I'm doing Thursday instead of Wednesday, but that's Instagram's fault, not mine. So thank you for joining me. If you've got anything you'd like me to cover on a next future Wellness Wednesday on a Thursday, let me know. Send me a comment or send me a private message, and I'll make sure to add it to my list. I welcome all suggestions. Honestly, you guys are fantastic. You give me so much to think about for future episodes. So keep them coming in, and I'll make sure, if you want me to tag you so that you know I've done the episode on your behalf next time round when I do it. Okay, I'm off. I've got a call I need to do with somebody who's hopefully going to be joining my coaching team. Have a great afternoon.